And so on behalf of the white people living here in this nation, whether they are willing or unwilling to do this, I want to apologize to you guys. To you guys as the black community living in this, African American community living in this nation. I want to apologize because you don't deserve this racism, this rejection that you have been put under. I am so sorry for the way that we as white people have treated you, for the times that we have given you worser punishments or looked at you differently, excluded you from certain jobs or opportunities or schools or whatever. I am so sorry for the way that we as white people have treated you. This is not a moment where I'm like, but please, you know, well, you did this. No, none of that. I'm just straight out sorry for the way that we have treated you, both now and in the past. I am so sorry. You do not deserve the way that we have treated you. You are worth more than that. You are more valuable than that. And I want you to know that. And I am so sorry for the way we as white people have treated you. It just surprises me to see that today there is still racism, to see that that's something that still exists in America. Because where I live, I see people working together of all races. And so to see that disgusts me, because you don't, what do you gain from treating other people like that? You gain nothing. You screw yourself over in doing that. Hey, my name is Brandon, and today I want to do something that is kind of unconventional, something that's almost not heard of. You know, a lot of people know about apologizing for something they did wrong, but not very many people have heard about apologizing for something you had nothing to do with. But today, that's something I want to do. I go to a church called Awake, and my pastor there was one day talking about a time that he was in college, and he had a Native American teacher there that God kind of prompted him to apologize to on behalf of white people. And that surprised him because he himself had nothing against Native American people, so he was kind of confused. But he did it, and when he did it, it changed her life, and it helped her to also forgive white people and to kind of come to a place of peace, knowing that someone cared. And so I want to do something similar to that today, but this time for African American people living in this country. When we had all the stuff going on with Ferguson and all the shootings of cops of black people and just all the frustration that was going on in this nation, it was kind of surprising to me because I've grown up in churches that are, well, interracial. Like, sometimes there are more people of other races than there are white people in these churches. And so I'm quite, you know, I'm used to working with other people. It's all natural to me. So to see all that going on was kind of a surprise, because I thought that racism was something that was pretty much almost non-existent because of the environment that I was raised in. So when I saw this was happening, I was surprised. And during that time, the pastor at our church, he had all the cops and black people to come up to the front, and that we would pray over each other and to, you know, bridge the gap between the two. And when I was going up to do that, to pray, I kind of felt like God was leading me to apologize to black people, just like he had moved my pastor. And so that's what I want to do today. And so I'm so sorry for the way that we as white people have treated you black people, and for the slavery that we had put your ancestors through, and the segregation that after that point we put you guys through. You guys are worth more than that. I'm so sorry that that we put your ancestors through that. We brought them out of their places to live here so that they can do work for us. No, that's not right. And I don't excuse that. I am sorry for the way that you were treated, for those who are still holding on to racism, to think that your race is less than ours. No. We're messed up people. technically we all are, but I'm speaking on behalf of the white people. We're messed up. I know that it's really easy sometimes for our race to think that we are better than, or that, you know, we deserve certain things, but we're in the same level that you guys are. The only difference between us is that you have darker skin. That's it. Other than that, we're built the same way. And so I'm so sorry for that. You don't deserve it. You're worth more than that. And I really hope that this means something to you, because I can't make up for all the crap that you've had to endure. I can't make up for the hurt, the loss, the rejection, the segregation, the degradation. I can't make up for that as one person, but I can apologize, and I can do it when other people may be unwilling to do it. And so I'm apologizing the crap out of this because I mean it. I myself am sorry for anything that I have done unknowingly against you. As a white person, I'm sorry. And I'm willing to listen to you guys, to hear your stories, to hear what you have to endure, so that way I can spread awareness to other people, so that we can change this and that we can live in a nation where you can be in peace and not have to think about, you know,
So, hello guys, shalom. Recently, I did a video about Tim Wise where he was explaining the origin of racism, and he was explaining the complex mechanics of racism, how racism is operating. Racism is just an insecurity that has been covered up by the white people who thought Africans were being a threat to them, just like the same way the Pharaoh thought the Israelites were being a threat to the nation of Egypt. Now, there's a video that is online, and quite a number of people have done the video, and the video is now the video is about a black man, a white man, who is trying to discuss the effects. First of all, he has acknowledged that the white people did wrong to the black people, and that alone is enough to make us happy black people. We in Africa, we passed through colonialism, and the ones who are in USA, they passed through slavery, and all this is suffering. So let's watch this video, let's get to see how much he has to discuss, and then we'll have a critical analysis by the end of the video.
Being treated differently simply because you're black or whatever. You don't deserve that. You deserve peace. You deserve the same opportunities that we do. You deserve love and acceptance. You deserve the same things, the same decencies that we get as well. So I'm so sorry. And I hope that you guys can forgive us for the wrong that we have done against you. And if this means something to you, I ask that you share this with whomever else needs to hear this apology. If you have a friend or a family member or whatever, please send this to them and know that we're sorry. And, you know, if you also have friends from other races, you know, to you Native Americans, to you Muslims, I apologize for the way that we have treated you differently, for the way that we have rejected you and treated you differently. Everyone makes mistakes, and we are no exception to making mistakes. So please accept this apology and share it with anybody who needs it. Know that I'm standing in the gap today on behalf of white people to apologize.
So, much as an African who is living back in the continent and listening to this brother who is a white brother, he has acknowledged that even though it is not him who is responsible for the trauma and for the side effects of slavery, he's apologizing on the behalf of his ancestor, probably who may have not done this. And discussing this, I couldn't help but try and remind you, I know you know this, but remind you, and let's try and discuss from this conversation the effects or the side effects of slavery, and why the apology of this white gentleman was very, very necessary. So the legacy of slavery has left profound and lasting effects on black Americans. You know, it has impacted various aspects of the black American lives. Now let's discuss these things. First of all, we can see that I have discussed them in three categories. Give me a minute. Now we have mental health impact, we have health disparities, we have economic disparities, and we have social position and perception that people are having towards Black Americans, you know. Now, discussing it in the aspect of mental health impact, you know, trauma of slavery, racial violence, and systemic oppression has a toll on the mental health of Black individuals. Repressing feelings associated with acts of white racism can be psychologically damaging. The repression may lay the foundation for future mental health problems and behavior symptomatic of post-traumatic stress syndrome. Acts of terrorism, such as the Charleston church massacre, which happened the other year, and subtle microaggressions contribute to this cumulative burden that African Americans are continuing to have. Now, while the Black church and family have been buffers against the full effects of white racism, it is essential to recognize that racism impact persists up to today. You know, the second one was the health disparities. You know, slavery legacy is intertwined with healthcare inequality. Historical disparities in access to health services persist, affecting African Americans disproportionately. For instance, during the 20th century, smallpox epidemic, African Americans faced higher mortality rate due to inadequate access to health care. The third one is economic disparities. The conceptual delinking of slavery from the foundation of Black poverty has obscured the origins of social and economic disparities. These disparities persist between whites and African Americans in the 20th and 21st centuries. Understanding the historical context is crucial for addressing ongoing economic inquiries. The fourth one would be social position and perception. The legacy of slavery continues to resonate. A Patch Research survey found that 63% of African Americans believe it significantly affected the position of Black people in American society today. You know, the impact of slavery, it extends far beyond the historical period, shaping mental health. It shapes the healthcare. It shapes economic opportunities and social perception of Black Americans all over the world. Now, it is essential that the Black brother come ahead and apologize. This way, it continues to bridge the gap that we have between Black people and white people. There's a terrifying gap, you know, and some of these white people might be terrified that there's a war which is coming, an impending war which is to happen very soon, because Africans are reawakening, and the only thing that somebody who is smart should do is apologize. You should apologize. You only apologize when you realize you're at fault. Is when you apologize, and we have realized they were at fault, and this racism has to end. It is important that the brother has discussed, and he has found that it is within his heart where this thing was harboring, and with the same heart, slavery came in. With the same heart, forgiveness has come out. You know, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth shall speak. You only speak what your heart is, and you will only reveal the secrets of your heart by when you speak. It reaches a point you no longer keep quiet. You speak out, because everything which is happening around demands for speaking. As Desmond Tutu, the clergyman of South Africa, placed it, if you keep quiet while something wrong is happening, you are equally as guilty. Those are the words of Desmond Tutu. You know, ignorance of the law is not does not make you innocent, or does not make you free from punishment. You face the punishment as well. As Black people, we should be able to recognize people who are trying to make efforts for the conservation of the good relationship between the Africans and the African Americans. If you love this video, kindly subscribe to Evans from Kenya, and see you in the next part, where we will have a thorough discussion on matters of Africa. See you, and have a good night.